that you got to appeal to people at a sort of post-civilization stage where we're kind of at on a primal level. You just do. And Trump does it better than anybody.
Trump does. And he started with a rejection principle. What took him from being a joke to being a messenger?
Reactions to Bill Maher's dinner at the White House with Donald Trump are pouring in from all sides of the internet.
I'm starting to see the veil come down. You know, he's starting to see the man that a lot of us have seen for a long time now. If we don't have the TDS, you got it. It's hard. If he comes out from the TDS, he might be one of the only ones to have ever actively had it and then shed the disease.
The veil has certainly come down all right.
He sounds a little like a kid, you know, who just danced with a girl and said, they're really not scary and they're not mean. They smell kind of good and they're soft all over. And that authenticity is touching to me.
The sheer creepiness of that analogy aside, Walter Kern's line of thinking here is quite a perfect example of how fascist attitudes and authoritarian figures become normalized and accepted in society. Kern is essentially arguing that because Trump is nice to some people, including a select few critics like Bill Maher, he can't be all that bad of a person. And taking it one step further, the policies he represents aren't all that bad either.
You know, he doesn't like Trump. I think that's still true, but I think he saw like a glimpse of the man like that we actually know, like the real Trump and not the fighter who's out there being attacked all the time, who's got to be, you know, tough and is tough in return. And, you know, Bill Maher, among many others, has thrown some very tough punches his way as well.
So who is the real Trump, Megyn? The one that is actively facilitating the erosion of free speech rights and criminal justice protections while suggesting to send American citizens to a foreign concentration camp for not being sufficiently patriotic? Or a kind-hearted man just trying to have a good time and work for the people? Both cannot be true, but to Megyn Kelly and her fellow MAGA loyalists, those two beliefs are completely congruent.
I'm sorry, I don't know what y'all watched, but Bill Maher. I'm sorry. All right. I'm sorry. Good. I'm sorry. This is like someone who talked about black people his whole life and then had dinner with one and said, actually, after I had dinner with them, they're not that bad, guys. No, you don't get to do that, you coward. You went on a show and you tried to play both sides of the street.
That's right.
Why? So maybe he could do your show because the 300,000 people that watch it, if we had those numbers here, I wouldn't be here.
Washed up wrestler turned Fox News host Tyrus took a different route than Kelly and her panel, and all things considered, isn't far off with his assessment of Maher being nothing more than an opportunist who's only concerned with show business and advancing his career. But that's giving him too much credit, considering what he immediately followed this up with.
You said things about President Trump nonstop. You had no reference point. That's all you proved to me. You sit down with the man, you break bread with the man, then you come and say, well, on this night, he was okay. But don't be mad at me. Splitting hairs. Man up. This dude represents nobody. A PR stunt for who? I'm sorry, I missed the Oval Office Rose Garden meeting where President Trump was talking about Bill Maher was there.
Yeah.
I missed that one.
Yeah.
He's talking about it. President's not talking about it. He doesn't need Bill Maher. He's got 70% of the country cheering him on.
Laughable claim about 70% of the country backing Trump aside. What Tyrus doesn't realize or doesn't want to talk about on air is that for Trump, the dinner with Maher was a PR power play to show that even so-called centrist Dems are willing to pay their respects to Trump and treat him like any other past president, while his actions should command the opposite.
He will sit with Kim Jong-un and break bread. So little punk-ass Bill Maher coming to the house and sitting in the seat. And what did Trump did? He was gracious. He treated him. Everything. He had to leave and come back and go, he wasn't any of the things I said because you were part of the machine. But at this point, to coin one of the greatest, funniest phrases in all of comedy, I would ask Bill Maher to step in my office. And he would say, why? Because he's fired.
Nothing says hypocrisy and double standards quite like saying Bill Maher was a part of the anti-Trump machine while broadcasting from a network whose hosts literally dine and party with the president and his inner circle on a regular basis, or in Lara Trump's case, are in the president's immediate family. Hey guys, quick break in the action. I have a new show coming out called The Rick Strom Show. It is going to be awesome. I'm interviewing musicians, athletes, producers, writers, journalists, authors, sports doctors. Go check it out at youtube.com/@TheRickStromShow. Also be sure to throw me a follow on Instagram, Threads, Blue Sky. It can all be found in the description box below. Thank you.
Kid Rock and I always say, and you know this better than anybody, nobody walks into a meeting or a dinner with Donald Trump and walks out and doesn't like him. It's impossible. And if you say you don't, you're lying. You're lying. There was a lot of really good and smart conversation that went back and forth between him and the president, and Kid Rock and I just sort of sat there and let those two have their time together.
Wow.
It was awesome.
I wonder if you have a person like Bill Maher come out of a meeting with President Trump and it's all very positive. It kind of feels like, maybe we're heading towards a place, Dana, where this country can unify.
Lara Trump just said the quiet part out loud. Bill Maher is just a useful pawn for the Trump admin to soften his hardline authoritarian policies to Maher's centrist audience, who refuse to come to terms with fascism unfolding before our eyes. Trump and the Republicans couldn't care less about actually unifying the country through legit populist policies, and any talk of unification or national healing is just posturing to the uninformed.
If those two can get in a room together and get along, does it give you hope?
But that's what needs to happen. People do with opposing views. Instead of everybody hating each other, get together, talk, disagree. It's okay to disagree. Yeah. There's never going to be a case where you agree with everything that anybody says, your friends, your family, and definitely not the President of the United States.
Let me ask
you. It doesn't mean you have to hate each other.
You shouldn't hate everyone that disagrees with you, but that begs us to question where you draw the line. Is it with legal U.S. residents being deported to an El Salvadorian terrorist prison without due process? Is it with snatching student activists from the streets, shipping them away to courts friendly to the administration, and advocating for their deportation for exercising their constitutionally protected rights? Is it with gutting vital social spending programs like Medicare, Medicaid, SNAP, Social Security, and others? We know where we draw the line, and Bill Maher apparently does too.
What would you like to see from the Democrats, going forward?
Much more centrism, much more get rid of the woke baggage, old school liberal is what I usually describe myself as. But that's very often the opposite of woke. Woke would like people to believe that they're some sort of an extension of liberalism, but they're not. They're usually something that's quite opposite.
If you can and are willing, please become a paid member here at TYT Sports. Or go to tyt.com/join. In addition, you can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Appreciate it. Have a great day.